understanding dementia residents' experiences in a dementia unit is an evolving work. And for you to be able to understand their experiences, they need to communicate with you. And for that, 4 things are needed. Firstly, they need to trust you. Secondly, they need to be not heavily medicated. Thirdly, they need to be able to communicate with you and have the confidence that they can communicate with you. And fourthly, that when they do, that you will listen to them and take it on board what it is that they're saying. So, assuming all these things are in place, then you'll be able to have a chance of being able to pick up what it is that dementia residents are experiencing. And you yourself have to have that interest, that empathy, and that insight to be able to connect with them. Much like the David Attenborough scientists with all the animals, they're able to connect and understand and realise what it is that the animals are saying. But it's much easier to understand a dementia resident because, I mean, we're all human beings. So especially if you know the history of the person, you know their background, they're a family member, you've got a good relationship. If all those things are in place, then it's a good equation then to be able to understand the experience of the dementia resident, what they're trying to tell you, what they're thinking, what they're experiencing, and what they'd like you to know. But with it, of course, there is a certain number of factors involved. Firstly, you need to have a high interest in wanting to do this work, whether it's professionally or whether it's because it's your loving, lovely grandmother or mother. You need to want to make the effort to engage. And it does take time, effort and energy. I mean, thankfully, we don't have to go to the Amazon with tons of snakes around and mud-infested waters. It's quite incredible, actually, what those explorers and scientists, the effort they go to gain that empathy, engagement and common understanding with animals. Off to Siberia to see the Siberian tiger, waiting for 2 years to get the shot of it on the mountain. You know, like, people go to extraordinary lengths to understand the animal kingdom, and it's fantastic because actually the dementia residents love that animal David Attenborough work. But equally, if even half the effort was made with dementia residents to engage and understand what it is that they are going through, really a lot of breakthroughs would be made. I mean, you know, even they're saying now that even fish have cognition. Well, if fish have cognition, of course people with dementia are going to have cognition. And indeed, if they can communicate, it means they can think, and that is cognition. So we know all that. Okay, so the thing is, you know, it comes naturally. If you're really interested in this work, if you really want to engage with someone, communicate, it comes naturally. And if you're interested, you'll learn and you'll study and you'll think and you'll work on it. So that if you're looking at these videos already, you've made the effort to come to this site, to turn it on, to think, listen and engage. So halfway there. And it's just taking on board one technique, one principle, one tip, as the followers call it. Take on one little tip, use it, apply it, get the feedback, see how it goes. Make a comment if you like and ask any questions. I'm always happy to answer those. And then step by step it starts to evolve. And especially once the dementia resident starts to communicate, just that first trusting comment, that's all you need, you know. Because then you can build from that. The first trusting comment I received from a dementia resident I was working at was actually a really insightful one. I was taking her for a walk along through the hospital grounds, then through the hospital and along the big corridor where all the elephants and rhinoceroses and, you know, Mediterranean views are. But there was actually a map of the world there. And so we stopped in front of that and I was talking to her and saying, you know, New Zealand at the bottom of the world and how it's so cold here compared to many other countries. And she said she looked at New Zealand, she looked at Christchurch where we are, and she said, well, at least we are still functioning. I couldn't believe it when she said that. I thought, wow, she's got a lot going on in there and not saying a thing. So from then on forth, henceforth, I, worked hard with her, and she was actually one of the bright sparks that was able to get this work going and explain to me how a person with dementia thinks. But we can do this work, we can work together, we can learn, think and grow along with the dementia community, and them sharing their experiences with us so that we can help them move forward, or at least have a better quality of life, and work around their recent memory loss so that they can click in and engage with the intellect, think, concentrate, focus, have activities that they enjoy and have a better quality of life, which is so important, isn't it? End of the life, to be a good life at the end of your life. I mean, you want to be able to have quality experiences then. So I've written about the 2 books, Residence Voice, Residence Rise, both on Amazon, everything in the description below. Thank you for your likes. Please thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks.